Good evening, ladies and gentlemen. Tonight we have a very interesting program. We're in the midst of the hunting season for deer. I think it started the 1st of October. So we have Bill Brown, who is a public relations lieutenant with the conservation officers. He's from the Connersville area, and we all know him very well. He's never arrested me, but he's chased me through the woods. But he's here tonight, and we're going to talk about the rules and regulations and about hunting safety. And then we have our own Chris Scott from the Connersville Police Department. Chris is a sergeant with the Connersville Police Department and also a canine officer. I call him a dog handler. I guess either one is correct, right?
Right, yes.
And Chris does a great job for us on the Connersville Police Department. He's usually the second shift sergeant, and he keeps us safe in the evening hours. So we're going to get right into this. This is exciting for me because I've been a hunter all my life, and I love to hunt. Usually Fran Schommel has all these sporting shows because he knows basketball and football and baseball and soccer, but I get to have this one because it's my sport. So let's just get started in the rules first. Bill,
Okay.
Hunting season for deer started with bow and crossbow.
That's correct.
October 1.
October 1.
Okay.
We actually had the youth season just a few days before that.
Tell us about that youth season.
The youth season was it's a great thing that state has, and kids that are 16 years and younger can actually go out.
How young?
16, as young as they want to take them, because with an apprentice license, they don't even have to pass the hunter education. But a licensed adult needs to go with them and sit with them while they're doing this and be able to mentor them through their shots. So, the parent has, or at least the adult has some responsibility there to make sure they're doing everything ethically and making the right shot, making the right choices. It's a great way for adults to mentor a child in there to get them out there and get a deer and get them started in a great outdoor activity.
Yeah.
So
I did that with my boy. I remember Bobby shot his first deer when he was 12.
yeah.
And I remember the night he shot it, he was so proud.
Oh yeah. And I'm sure you were too, sir.
I was too.
Yeah, absolutely.
Yeah. He said, "Dad, I got it in my sights. You want me to shoot it?" I said, "Yeah, shoot." And boy, it just went down right there.
Yeah.
Yeah. Okay, now we're in the bow and crossbow. It used to be illegal to crossbow, but everybody can crossbow now,
That's
right?
correct. Yeah, they brought it in. There was a lot of discussion up in Indianapolis about that, and I happened to be part of that discussion. But it came down to what's the purpose of denying that? And there really wasn't a purpose. So inviting those crossbowers in and giving them more opportunities. Of course, you know what the deer population is.
Yeah.
More opportunities we give to sportsmen to get out there and be able to harvest an animal and take it home and feed the family with it. And we couldn't find any reason why not to, or why not to make it a rule that they can hunt with it. So
I bought a crossbow, I guess 2 years ago. I practiced with it, got pretty good. I lost a bunch of arrows. I had to pay a bunch of money and find them.
part of practice, isn't it, sir?
Yeah. I've never got to use the thing, but once Bobby's got it all the time, so I'm going to have to get him one, I guess. He can crossbow.
Yeah.
So then, now this crossbow and bow season runs right up until November. I looked it up. November.
Actually, it goes all the way into January 3rd, I believe. So it goes all the way through. It's consecutive now. It
Even
used to
during
actually,
the gun season.
Yes, that's
Okay.
correct. Yeah, the archery season continues all the way through until January. So a lot of opportunities for those of us who enjoy the archery equipment, and a lot of people getting into that sport, and the more opportunities that we
Yeah.
give people. Yeah.
Yeah.
Great
Okay, so
opportunities.
the gun season then comes in.
Now that comes in November. I'm not sure exactly what the specific date is in November there. It's usually, I believe, the third weekend in
It's
November.
the third, and I think the month comes in. The first Saturday is the second. 14 days after that. If someone in the back there can tell us what day that is, but I looked it up today and I forgot it.
Well, doggone it.
But anyway, it's not the second Saturday, it's the third Saturday
That's
this
correct.
year.
Yeah. Mm-hmm. Yeah.
Usually it was the second Saturday, wasn't it?
I'd have to actually 16th.
16th.
Yeah, it comes in on the 16th. So
Yeah.
I use the regulation book just as much as anybody else to go there and figure those dates out.
Yeah.
Not that they change every year, but it keeps me abreast about those dates. A lot of changes, and I recommend that to people that are watching to make sure that you get that hunting regulation book and follow those dates.
Where do you
And it
pick
keeps
one of those up?
You actually can get it online now. It's an online
Oh, okay.
publication.
Where do you go to?
Actually, it's to Indiana DNR, and just click on the Indiana Hunting Guide, and it'll have everything that they need there. So get it online. You can we actually have the hard copy publications at Walmarts and sporting goods shops as well. So if they want the hard copy like the old days, they can go get those too.
Yeah. So then we have the gun season, and it comes in and it runs through the end of the month.
Yeah, it runs actually 3 consecutive weekends. So
and
it comes in the 16th.
Sunday.
Yeah, that's correct. Yeah.
Okay.
And so
And then we got the muzzleload comes in.
muzzleloader, late muzzleloader. Yep. So
there's all kinds of opportunity to hunt deer.
Absolutely.
Now, I'm confused. Let's start out on my own property. What can I do?
Well, actually, you're talking about the amount of deer that you can take. Everybody has a 1 buck rule. Indiana went to a 1 buck rule, so you can take no more than 1 antlered buck. So we want you to be choosy about the buck that you take. Then after that, you can start opening up your antlerless opportunities. So on your property, you can take 2 with a bow, and those can be 2 antlerless or 1 antlered and one antlerless. Now, once you take your antlered, you're finished for the season.
Regardless of what you take it with.
That's correct. And then you have, I believe Fayette County is a 3 for bonus county, and that means you have 3 bonus county opportunities there. So, and you can take those with any legal equipment. So if I want to do it with my archery equipment, I may. So I could take the 2, and then I could take 3 bonus counties, so that's up to 5. And then when late muzzleloader comes in, I can take another one with muzzleloader.
But only 1 buck.
Only 1 buck, all through that. Plenty of opportunity for you to fill your freezer, only 1 to fill your wall up with that trophy.
Yeah,
So,
yeah. Well, that's interesting. So, it's good because after you shoot that buck, that first day when you shoot that big one, that 30-pointer, that's what we always say.
Absolutely. We're all going to get one of those.
In Michigan, we always say, Michigan people in the UP where I come from, they can't pronounce that T. It's a 30-pointer.
Yeah,
it's a 30-pointer.
Yeah.
And you hear that, Toivo got a 30-pointer.
Yeah, that's right. We're all going to get one.
But then you can go on out there and shoot 4 more.
Yes. Well, actually, you can actually take that bonus county and go to the next county over. Franklin County actually is an 8. You can take 8 antlerless down there, fill that quota, go on to the next county and fill that quota.
All on one license.
Well, no. So you have to buy a different license for each one.
Each time.
Yeah. Each deer costs you a different license.
Unless you're on your own property.
Yeah, that's correct. Yeah. The landowner has their license exempt. On their own property.
That's a good deal because in Michigan you buy a license even if you hunt on your own property.
Oh, wow.
Yeah. And it's 153 this year and it's going to 184 next year for a non-resident.
Yeah, Indiana, we're blessed here.
What is a non-resident license here?
It's $150 here for non-resident to come over and enjoy
And what's a resident? I always hunt on my own, so I don't.
Resident is $24 for me to go out and get a deer license, and then the bonus county, if you buy your first bonus county is $24. Everyone after that's 15. So they give you a price break if you continue to take those.
You can be a sportsman in Indiana, can't you?
Yeah, you can be a sportsman, fill your freezer, and feed your family with wonderful high-protein food. So
okay.
Yeah.
Okay, Chris, we're going to. Chris is an avid hunter, along with being a police officer. And I was down at the police station the other day, and I don't know if he showed it to me or Perry. I think Perry showed it to me, but he showed me a picture of his bear. He's been out west and already shot a bear. And tell us about your bear hunt. I want to hear a blow by blow.
Actually, I wasn't out west. I go up to Canada.
North.
Yeah, fortunate to go to Canada 4 times now on with Agnes River Outfitters. It's ran by Joyce and George Goodchild, and it's a bear hunting and fishing outfitter. And I've taken 2 black bears with them, and just as well as a large amount of fishing and
got the bear up there, Chris. Tell us about it while he's got it up there on the screen.
Yeah, that was that's my bear from this year. It was a 250-pound black bear.
Is it a male or a female?
It was a male, a boar. Just really exciting to hunt. I started in 2008, I went up the first time, and just an experience to go up. And Canada is just a beautiful country. They have, the residents there have so much land upper north that anybody can go hunt or fish. There's
it's
so
public
many,
land then?
It's public land. We go up and we fish and hunt. it's just unbelievable. Once the first time I went up there, I've been hooked ever since, and I try my hardest to go back every year.
How do you get to go there? Yeah, you pay.
Yeah, you have to pay your outfitter and buy your bear tag, and then you.
How much is a bear tag?
Bear tag this year was like $300 this year.
Do they guarantee you a bear, or that's up to you? Huh?
No guarantee on the bear. Nothing's guaranteed up there. Fishing's pretty much guaranteed. I mean, we caught a lot of fish.
Walleye?
Walleye. You fish during the day up until about 3 o'clock, and then you go out to your stand. You bear hunt in the evening.
Oh, you do it all at the same time?
Yes. The bears are more active in the evening. So we would go out, we'd head towards our stand around 3 o'clock.
Now, give us a description of how you hunt a bear on a bear stand in Canada.
In Ontario, they have you are allowed to bait there, and it's a really good system to bait because you actually get to see what actually comes into your sight. You could judge the bear. They use a 55-gallon drum, and you can judge your bear by the height of the barrel, and of course any sow, which is a female bear, it comes in and has cubs. You can actually take a sow, but it's just good hunters will not take a sow away from its cubs. So and you get to judge your bear and actually see what you're taking.
So what do they bait with? Jelly like we do in Michigan?
The outfitter that we use, he makes his own sweet bait. It's oats and molasses and a little bit of dog food. You are allowed to bait. I've been very fortunate here in Connersville to get to know Jim Ringling pretty good from Marsh Supermarket, and we actually go to him, and he allows us to take the old donuts before they throw them in the trash. So we take the old donuts and cut them up and freeze them, and then we take them up and we use those.
You pour jelly on them?
I see some of the guys is pouring syrup. Not only it was me, but Lieutenant Bolos from the police department, Patrolman Gunder, and one of our dispatchers went this year.
Did you all get a bear?
We all got a bear. Dispatcher Derek Davis took a shot at a bear, but it wasn't fortunate to harvest it.
What kind of gun do you use?
I've taken my .44 rifle, and it doesn't take. Some people think you need to take the biggest gun you got, but you don't.
So you're shooting pretty close then? Shooting
pretty close to be in your stand and actually have an animal that can come in and hurt you. Most people go to a zoo and you see a bear, but to be out there in the wild and be away
how
from
close
everything.
to the bear were when you shot it?
It was probably 20 yards. I've been.
What kind of stand were you in?
Just a summit climber tree stand.
You get up in the tree. Yeah.
Yep. You can actually hunt on the ground. Lieutenant Bolos actually took his bear. He was sitting on the ground when he took his bear. And I don't have enough nerve to do that yet.
That's strange because I've never killed a bear, but I've gone out in Michigan. You have to apply for a tag, and it's a lottery. You got to have your name pulled, and my name's never been pulled. But I've gone out with my friends that did get there, and I've been 40 feet from them. And they're so interested in the jelly and the donuts, and we always put a little bacon grease in there.
Yeah,
that gives the odor,
Yeah, they like.
But
to smell.
I've watched them, and I've watched my friend kill the bear, and it never even looked at us. I guess it could. And I have a home up there, and 2 years ago there was a bear in the backyard. It stayed there for 2 hours. And my wife went up, took pictures of it, and she wasn't even afraid of it. Now just last week they took 5 bear from the town, and the DNR came in and tranquilized them and moved them way up north because they were getting in everybody's trash every night. This time of year, that's what they start to do.
Yeah, up in Canada, the outfitter is advised us that if you see a bear that's been tagged, it's considered as a nuisance bear, and it has been moved from a city back
If it comes back the second time, he's done. They shoot.
Yeah, he's advised us that those bears are the bears that will hurt you. So
They're used to humans. Yeah.
some of them, every bear I've came in contact with, I pretty much looked me right in the face and knew I was there, and was, trying to figure me out before, anything had taken, before I'd taken one. But it's pretty interesting. I mean, yeah.
Now, that's the way you hunt bear when you bait. Did you ever hunt bear with a dog?
No.
They do that in Michigan too, and I've never done that, but they tell me about it. I guess the dog chases the bear up the tree or something, and or just wears the bear out, and you finally catch up with it.
I've only seen that on TV on some bear hunts, but yeah, the dog will tree the bear, kind of like the same thing as a squirrel or a raccoon dog would do, and they would basically just go up and take the bear then. But I've never done that. I've always been out there alone, and I've been 13 miles away from the actual bear camp, so we all have to take quads, and you quad out to your stand, and if you take a bear, the outfitter's rule is you have to come back to camp and get the outfitter and go back out to harvest your bear. It's a very thick forest up there, and you within 5 yards of going into the woods and turning around and looking the direction you can't figure out
where you
came
came from.
Right.
I know how that is.
So I wouldn't want to get lost up there at all.
Yeah. Spending the night there wouldn't be fun.
No, it would not.
Okay. Do you hunt deer too, Chris?
Yes, I'm an avid deer hunter also.
Bow.
Bow. I also do the firearm season. I've also a turkey hunt.
I've never hunted turkeys. I always wanted to do that. But
Yeah.
I used to hunt grouse when I was at home. There were a lot of them, and early in the morning we'd walk a gravel road. They'd be right on the edge with sunning, and then getting that gravel for their digestion. And we used to get a lot of them. And this year there just weren't many. Last year there were a lot, and this year I guess they run in cycles. We don't have them here, do we?
We do have some grouse, but it's a depleted population. We actually did, as the DNR, trade 3 grouse for a turkey when we were wanting the turkey population to come in. Since that time, the grouse population, because of some climate issues, have never recovered fully. So
Grouse don't do good in a wet cold spring, do they?
yeah, wet, cold springs, and usually the winters, and the winter of 1978 had a crushing blow on a lot of our upland game birds. So it's been tough recovering from that.
Yeah.
So.
But I used to do that after school, and in my day we snared rabbits. I suppose that's illegal now.
Yeah, I don't think you're supposed to do that.
No. Well, we were poor kids, and I'd run my snare lines in the morning, and then I'd pick them, and it'd make me so mad. I'd go down, and it would be nothing but a leg lift because something ate the rabbit, an owl or
Coyote probably got it.
yeah, would eat my rabbit. There was a lady, she was an Italian lady named Mrs. Clemitis, and I'd put them in a gunny sack. I usually got 2 or 3, and she gave me 50 cents a piece, and I was so excited. It froze solid one time I got out of school, I come from the UP of Michigan. I guess you guys know that.
Well, things could be legal up there, sir. You're not supposed to sell them either.
Well, it's so long ago now. I've been away from there 55 years, I think. But as a kid, I used to snare rabbits and sell them. And like I say, I'd walk my line, and there was nothing but a leg. Miss Clemitis wasn't going to give me 50 cents for a leg.
No.
But back then, sell 4 rabbits to her and get $2 was big money. You go to the movie about 3 times on that,
Hey.
and get popcorn.
On $2.
But we did that, and then we used to trap beaver. My dad taught me how to trap beaver on the slides, and they built beaver dams, and then it wouldn't freeze along the dam, and we'd trap beaver, and he'd skin them for us. We'd help and sell those beaver pelts. And I did try muskrat a time or 2, but boy, that's hard, But that's the way we grew up. My dad trapped beaver and muskrat, and we hunted and fished, and I missed that. So down here, when the deer population is so good, and down there where I hunt, I'm right across the line from Franklin County. We always see deer every day, and so I really enjoy the deer hunting. So tell me about one of your best deer hunting story. When we go to Michigan and hunt, I stay at my cousin's camp, And they said, well, what do you do when it gets dark? Well, it gets dark 4 o'clock in the afternoon in the UP of Michigan in deer season because they turn their time back and then they're so far north. And I said, what do you do? I said, oh, we go in there and lie to one another what we saw that day.
Yep.
Tell us your best deer story.
My best big deer story would be I've taken 5 really nice bucks, and I have them all mounted at home in my garage, of course.
Your wife won't let you have them in the house?
No, they're not. Can't. Even my bear and everything's out. I have my little home hunting area at home. But greatest story is when I killed I probably shouldn't say killed, but
that's what you did.
When I took a 13 pointer with a 23-inch spread, and
that would be a thrill.
Yeah, it was a real nice.
What year was that?
I want to say 06, I think 2006.
And that's probably, I always say if a guy gets one like that in a lifetime, you're doing really well.
Yep. And I really enjoy it. And the other, it's just as exciting as the bear hunts I've been on and the bears I've taken. Those are really, we all get excited when a large buck is seen or coming towards the area, but nothing is compared to seeing a bear come in. And it's you want to talk about some adrenaline. It's you got to calm yourself down to really.
My wife and I first got married. She'd never been in the UP, and I told her, I said, "There's bear up there." And first year or two she was up there, she didn't see any. She thought I was storing to her. And one day we was out in the woods, and there was 3. And then, of course, since then, I used to get up early in the morning, about 7. And between our house and the next house, I'd go scoop up the bear poop because they'd come down and empty her bird feeders at night and poop in the yard. And I didn't want Heidi to see it because she'd be afraid to go outside.
Yeah.
But my 3 kids played in the woods, and they never thought a thing of it. They grew up with it, and even today they don't think anything of it. Do you know what day a bear goes to sleep? What day they hibernate? They hibernate on a special day.
No, I don't know that day.
You tell me what you think. When do you think they hibernate?
I know we went pretty much the last week of September this year, and we were told that the bears are already digging their dens and in preparation. So I'd probably say October 15th.
We always laugh because up there deer season always starts on the 15th of November. It has for lifetime. It's always the 15th. They've tried to change it. Everybody gripes. It's got to start. And then they always give the kids 2 days off school. The courthouse closes. I mean, it's big time. And we always tell all the young people, don't worry about the bear because they all go to sleep on the 15th. And so everybody thinks the bears hibernate on the 15th. But I've had them get into my deer stand and got my sandwich while I was going to lunch. And we always put black paper on it. Up in Michigan, we call it Youper siding, because they call those people Youpers. And boy, you'd see big scratches on it where they was trying to get your sandwich. So we always say that. And then they don't bury people up there in the wintertime. And they always quit burying on the 15th. Not because the ground's froze, it's deer season.
Wow.
You can't get a plumber, you can't get a doctor, you can't do anything on the 15th.
Everybody's deer hunting.
Yeah. And all the women are in town because they're all widows. Because all the men are out at the camp. And deer camps are amazing. What we do after we come in, we eat, and then we'll get in the car or the pickup. You gotta have a pickup truck. You don't ride around the car.
Right.
And we go from one camp to another, see what they got today, see what they got today. And a lot of these camps will have 30, 40 racks hanging in the ceiling. A lot of spikes over here, and everything they hang their coffee cup on is a deer horn. But every man that amounts to anything up there has got a hunting camp, a pickup truck, a shotgun, and a good woman. That's what I always say.
Yeah.
And I was telling the Wyzetta people about that. I was getting ready to go to Michigan and get the hunting camp ready. And he said, tell me what they got again. I need to know that. He said,
Youper siding.
Yeah. Bill, you had some things you want to talk about on about hunting.
Yeah, I
here.
did. One of the things, as you know, we can take a lot of antlerless deer this year, and as sportsmen, what we do is we end up filling their freezer. We may go and assist a friend who doesn't hunt and fill their freezer for them. But when it gets to the point where we don't need it anymore, we've got all we need, we stop. And so this is an opportunity. It's called Sportsman Benevolent Fund for you to go ahead and take another deer and donate it to people who need it. And as you know, venison is a wonderful opportunity to put high protein, lean meat into our bodies and our families' bodies, and this gives an opportunity to donate it to them. That food is used, or that meat is used to give to food banks that serve 92 counties. And that goes to soup kitchens and also to needy families to fill up their freezers as well, so they can also partake in that. And if the hunters would get behind this and take one extra doe, we can manage our population. We can take another one, and our hunters can give back to the people in need, fellow man, and also we can fight Indiana's
Now tell
hunger.
us how you do that in Fayette County.
In Fayette County,
Listen, folks. Now,
Mustin's Taxidermy is our
Down the road.
participating butcher right down the road, and all you have to do is go out and enjoy the sport that you love so much, harvest a deer, field dress it, take it down there to Mustin's. You'll have to check it in. You have to purchase a license and all that. So
or
it's
put it on your own property.
On your own property. And then just when you turn it in, say, I'd like to donate that to the Sportsman Benevolent Fund. They understand what to do from that point on. They'll receive that. The Sportsman Benevolent Fund pays them their butcher fee. They cut it up and they actually grind it into burger. And that's how it's donated. And Gleaner's Food Bank, or one of the food banks, one of the 8 food banks that's participating, will actually come and pick that up. So they get paid for theirs. And basically this is a way for all of us to work to fight Indiana's hungry. And it's a great program, and helping those in need. And the other thing that I would love to talk to you about is the #1 hunting accident. People, when
I think John's prepared to show that, aren't you, John?
Yeah.
Okay, when you're ready, Bill, tell him.
Okay, the #1 hunting accident, when I say hunting accident, most people will automatically...
Okay, you're ready on the benevolence one, he says. Did you have a picture you want to show on?
Yeah, you got the Benevolence Fund program up. This is a video that we have for to advertise
a commercial we're going to run.
Yeah, a
here.
little commercial.
Oh, I guess he's having trouble. You having trouble, John? We're working on it.
Okay, and this Sportsman Benevolent Fund is a great program. When you talk about prestige within hunters, you know that is a man, and that's what any man up in UP who's a man is out got their own hunting cabin and things like that. And that used to be the prestige that we had in Indiana of a hunter. We used to take holidays and we used to get days off from school. I was a raccoon hunter. My dad would not make me go to school, so we want to reintroduce this opportunity as getting people involved in this sport. Let's get involved, let's help people, and this is a great video to show hunters are good people.
Go ahead and roll a video for us, John.
Thanks, Colin. Samantha, you're up.
My Hero by Samantha. My hero is my dad. Every year in the fall, my dad takes me deer hunting. He teaches me a lot about the outdoors and respecting nature. Even though we sit and wait a lot and can't make too much noise or else we scare away the deer, I always enjoy the time I spend with my dad in the woods. But that's not why my dad is my hero. He's a hero because he helps feed the hungry. Each year when we go hunting, he always donates one of his deer to our butcher. My dad says the butcher gives the meat to people who are hungry and need help getting food. He may not beat up the bad guys like in movies, but my dad helps those in need. That is why my dad is my hero.
Yeah, that's, becoming a hero to those in need. Who doesn't want to be a hero to these young girls that are going out there, our younger generation, and we're showing them caring about human beings. And that's what our hunters do. That's what hunters all over the world do. They actually help people in need.
Yeah, back when I was a kid, we did that. We shot deer, and then whatever deer we didn't want, they used to give us what they call a doe license. If we got too many doe, different counties, and then we'd take that doe and we'd actually take it to DNR, and then the DNR would they gave it to hospitals and nursing homes.
Absolutely.
And different places where they needed food.
Yep.
And like you say, I was raised on venison and fish and buffalo, and that's the kind of stuff we had. Last year down at the cabin, I did a a wild meat thing. We had buffalo and venison, and we had Doug Howard brought us some duck, smoked duck. We just had a whole bunch. Oh, and we had turtle. We caught some turtles in the pond, and Mike butchered them, and we had. If you ever eaten turtle, it's delicious.
Yes,
you know?
it really is.
But that's the kind of stuff we were raised on, and it was wonderful.
Yeah. Wild game cooks are wonderful. I love going to those.
And all up home, the churches have them.
Sure.
So a lot of times when I don't want to bring a deer home, I'll just leave it up there, and they'll take it to the church, and then in February or March they'll have it. And I think Baptist Temple's had a wild game at night where they cook wild game a time or two.
Yep.
So a lot of fun.
Yeah. Oh, absolutely. Yeah. Getting a bunch of hunters together. What a great time.
I got to tell you about a story some of my friends did to me. I usually only get 2 or 3 days to go up there, you know, and so I went up there. Actually, my brother took my quad up there, and I flew up there and met him. So anyway, my stand was over the hill over here, and it was snowing and blowing and cold. Never got above 20 degrees all day long, and no heat in the shack. It actually had the walls of this shack were made out of the belt from a paper mill. Paper mills get rid of this old belt, and a lot of the hunters make stands out of it. It's yellow, and so I'm sitting in this, and it's a flapping, and I'm sitting, and it's just getting dark. It's just getting, all day, and here comes this buck just a creeping up. I'm watching him, and I'm watching him, and I'm watching him. Gets up there, and I shoot, and down he goes. Man, of course, you know, if you're half smart, you wait a while because he's liable to get up and run. So you wait until he gets a little stiff. So I waited a little bit, maybe 20 minutes. You get a little anxious sometimes. You know how you get. I'll go down and see how big it was. Well, anyway, I got down there, and he was only about a 6-pointer. I think either a 6 or a 7. So anyway, and he jumps up. And he takes off up the hill and just stands and looks. Nothing. Well, he went over a creek. So I get to the creek, and the ice is about, I went through. I'm up to my hips in the water now, and you know how cold it is when it's 20 degrees.
Yeah.
Well, I kept following that deer, and of course it got dark. Pretty soon I looked around and I thought, well, I don't know where in the world I am. Usually we'll listen for cars on the highway, or you'll take your compass. I didn't have a compass. I was sitting there. I just flew in, hurried up, put my clothes on, ran down to the stand. So anyway, I walked, and I walked, and I walked. Never saw the deer again, and I walked. And pretty soon I saw a light. So I headed toward that light. And there was an old couple in that house. Knocked on the door, and I told him who it was. I said, I'm Lowell Bangry's cousin. I'm hunting from his camp. And I said, I hate to tell you, but I don't know where I am. He says, well, you're about 2 miles from his camp. He said, wait a minute, I'll get my clothes on and take you down there. So he got the car out, got out on the road, took me down. Got down there, and I told them the story. And they said, well, eat, and we'll go find the deer after we eat. Oh, sure we will. And that wet, swamp, cold creek. So anyway, he called through his fence, and they got gas lanterns. And they took the gas lantern, and they were leading the pack. Where'd you last see it? Right there. Well, they saw blood in the snow, you know, and they're following. Pretty soon one of the guys goes, here's a leg. The guy throws up a leg, and I thought, that can't be. That deer had 4 legs on it. It can't be, you know. Pretty soon, here's a tail. They had got all the parts off of other deer and on out there, and they were playing with me. And you know, that deer wasn't 100 yards from where I shot the second time, and I'd walked all that way in the dark. But they still tease me about that. They'll say, remember that night you found the leg?
So they're playing bunch of hunters.
Yeah,
bunch of hunters together.
Oh, they had fun.
Yeah. Yep.
Yeah.
We enjoy each other.
We had so many stories like that, different things that happened, you know, through the years. And even in the summertime when they all come up, we'll sit and talk about hunting. That's what's so much funny about hunting. It's like fishing, you know. In the water it was that big, but when you get it out of the water, it's about that big, you know. Well, Chris, you shot 4 deer? 6? No, bear. 4?
This is my second bear I've taken.
Okay. Tell us about the first one.
The first one was in 09, hunting with the same outfitters. I've hunted with them and probably will never go anywhere else, just like you said. If you know somebody's a hunter, you can always talk and talk about stories or where you've been or what you've taken, and they're just, they're like grandma and grandpa to me, going up and seeing them, and you get to, see them once a year. I just left up there, and I feel like I miss them already. They have their own website and their own Facebook, and actually I was just talking to Joyce, George's wife, today before I came to work, and they are also big moose hunters up there. He is also a registered Indian there, so him and his sons also go up, and I'm very good friends with his sons. They're all my age, and they're allowed to take 4 moose a year. And
Is there a lot of moose in that area?
there's a lot of moose. I've actually seen the moose up there. They usually get their 4 moose a year, and what's special about that is they take those 4 moose and divide them up with their whole family, and they don't buy hamburger, they don't buy chicken. They eat that all year. And 2 years ago, I've never tried it, and I went up and I asked Joyce if she would bring us actually go to his house, and then his bear camp is 70 miles away from his house, and we travel the logging roads, and it actually takes us like 3 hours to get there from his house. And
You ride your quads, or?
we'll truck up there, and truck and trailer, and then unload the quads when we get there. And she, for the last 2 years, has brought moose up and cooks a really nice moose meal for us in the middle of the hunt. Pretty much we go up for 7 days, pretty much like a Wednesday.
You stay at the camp then up there?
Yeah, we actually stay in the camp.
You got electric lights?
Nope, no electric lights. It's no cell phone service, nothing.
Gas
you're-
lights?
They have a generator. Everything's
Oh,
ran
you
by
got
gas.
generator. The first years we hunted, we only had gas lights, and
Yeah.
man, they make the place hot.
Yeah.
Just-
Yeah, you gotta walk around with your flashlight up there. It's I kid you not. You blink, you take your flashlight off and close your eyes and open them again. It's no difference. It gets that dark up there at night. So, but we fire up the generator at night to. Once we come back in, we always fix our dinner for the night, and then, but once that generator goes off, it's it's all quiet. And it's dark.
I've been there. I know what you're talking about.
Yeah. She's made us a nice moose meal, and it's very fulfilling. She actually will feed us that moose lunch, feed us moose for lunch, and then we leave and go out to her stand. And you want to talk about a rough night in your stand. After you eat that on a full stomach,
How late do you stay in your stand then till dark?
once you go out in the evening, you won't stay in your stand until night, unless of course you take something. But it's quite an experience to come out of that stand at night in the middle of Canada, in the middle of the woods, and there's other animals out there that will hurt you, and it's kind of exciting. You make sure it's one place.
How far apart were you guys when you were hunting?
I've been my last hunt. I was 13 miles away from camp. I had to ride my quad out to my stand.
How'd you find your way out?
The first day, he'll take all the hunters. He would take us all out and show us the direction to the stand. He has them marked on the side of the road, and you would just quad out and to your bait side and park your quad, and then walk into your bait side.
How far away do you park your quad?
He normally, when he takes you there the first time, it's probably like 100 yards, it seems. But when you go back, there's no way you park that far away.
You park close.
Oh yeah, at least 50 yards or less.
I always park about 100 yards away.
Yeah.
I always find a dead tree or something that's bent over, and I'll park alongside of it.
Yeah, I'll conceal the quad and walk in.
I got a friend that built his stand. He pulls right underneath the stand. And deer, at least from what I observe, they love tractors and quads. That don't bother them. But try to walk through the woods. Holy moly, they'll hear you. You know, the other day I was working on this new stand I showed you, and it's right underneath the big oak tree. Well, you know what comes off oak trees?
Oh yeah, acorns. Yeah.
And you know how deer like acorns.
Yeah.
But everybody told me, said, you got to get this up 2 or 3 months ahead. Let them get used to it. Let them get used to being there. So I went back to the barn to get something. I'd put some bolts in. I come back and there was 2 underneath there eating acorns. I just put it up.
Yeah.
You know.
Yeah. It didn't take them long, did it?
No.
But the deer are like mushrooms. I don't know if you hunt mushrooms. Okay. Once you see a mushroom, you want to see another one.
Yep.
Another one. And deer, my wife and I will go out riding, and we'll go down here southern Fayette County where you cross the slab down the Boy Scout.
Yeah.
If you want to see deer, you take that road, just that dark, and it's just fun. And I don't know how many times we've seen them, but we just love seeing them again and seeing them again.
Yeah.
You know, deer are like that. Says we got the commercial on
Tree
the
stand
danger of
safety.
a tree stand.
Yeah,
So
tree
Bill-
stand safety. This video is called "Don't Be a Thud," and it's our attempt at letting people know that is our number one hunting accident, and a lot of people getting injured, and they're life-changing injuries when people fall out 20 feet. It takes a simple step of attaching yourself to the tree using a harness, a safety belt harness. If we're using climbers and things like that, we don't need these injuries, and if we can prevent them, let's wear a harness. So please take a look.
The number one cause of hunting accidents in Indiana is not firearm related, it's falling from tree stands. Always wear a full body harness when hunting from an elevated hunting platform. And before you leave the ground, always be attached to the tree or a lifeline system. Have a safe hunting season. Always wear your full body harness and don't be a thud.
Yeah, it's hard to believe that grown men would, but you get so excited.
Yeah,
You know.
I think that's one of the things that happens. People get
The
excited
heart
to go.
pounds and-
Yeah.
yeah.
They forget to wear their safety belt harness, and they say, "Oh, I'll get it tomorrow. I'll just hunt today without it." And it just takes one incident. And you know, when you talk about getting lost in the woods, you have to understand that when you fall out of a tree stand, and you're injured, you pick up a cell phone to tell people where you're at. It's not go down here and turn left or go to 200 west. It's very difficult to find these people and get them.
Yeah, and they're wearing camouflage, laying on the ground.
Right. Yeah. Very difficult to find them, and we've actually searched overnight to find these people out there that are injured. We have them right there on the phone. So, pretty tough deal all the way around. Safety belt harness to take care of the whole thing.
So remember what Bill Brown says: wear your safety belt harness.
Please do.
I've heard different things that I should read the book, I guess. In Michigan, you have to have so many inches of orange on you, which is from your belt up, really.
Right.
But in Indiana, all you have to have is an orange hat, 144 inches. Is that what you got to have? Or?
Well, no, that's not that people are coming up with a little bit different. What we say is you have to have a hat, coat, cap, vest, jacket, or coveralls of solid hunter orange. So that means you have to have one of those pieces that I just mentioned, just one. And then if you get into a ground blind, then it has to have 144 square inches on all sides. So it's 12 by 12 is what it is, 12 inches by 12 inches square.
if you're on the ground.
If you're in a ground blind, and the ground blind has been defined as anything that is manufactured that will cover you completely, that will conceal the hunter, you have to have hunter orange on that as well, and that's 144 square inches on every side. The objective there is so that if I'm hunting in the area, I know you're there, and I don't want to shoot anyone, and neither does any other ethical hunter, and that would affect me for the rest of my life. So getting yourself visible so that you can protect me,
But when I walk out to my stand, if I have an orange hat on,
you're good to go.
I'm good. Now you're not in Michigan. You got to have that orange from your belt up.
Yeah.
Yeah. But they use high-powered rifles.
Sure.
30-06.
They reach out and touch people.
308s. Yeah.
Yeah.
We use the highest we use is a 44.
Yeah. A 44 is a great rifle, but it's not a long-range rifle.
right.
So,
Yeah. So you can walk out to your stand. Now, I get into my stand, I'm up 17 feet. I take my orange hat off and put my camouflage hat on. That's legal.
no,
It's
sir.
not?
You always have to wear it. You have to be visible from 360 degrees.
Even when you're
all
up
time.
17 feet in the air?
Yeah, what you have to understand is squirrel hunters are out there too.
Oh.
And,
So do I have to have orange on my stand or on me?
It has to be on you.
On me.
Anytime that you're out in the open, not in a ground blind, it has to be on you. And actually, I believe even in a ground blind, you're supposed to wear that. The 144 square inches are supposed to take care
So
of that.
I need to wear my orange hat when I'm up there.
That's correct. Yep.
Well,
It's gotta be on all the time.
don't tell the conservation guy I've been putting my camouflage
I
hat.
am the conservation guy.
Oh, you are? I don't want you to tell them.
Okay.
Well, I was always thought, I got 2 hooks up there, one for my regular hat, one for my orange hat, and I take it off and I switch.
Yeah. Yeah, it's supposed to be on your person at all times. Visible from 360 degrees.
So some people say deer can see orange in colors, and some people say they can't. Do you know what the truth is?
Well, I'll be honest. I've only heard, because I've never actually experienced what a deer sees, but they do say that a deer is colorblind, sees in black and white. So the orange does not affect them, and it's not like bright colors or what.
So why do we all wear camouflage?
Why what?
Why do we all wear camouflage if a deer
I
doesn't see
think
color?
what they pick up is your body,
Your silhouette of
your
your
silhouette,
body.
your shape of your body, and that becomes a threat to them. And obviously, we are their predator. We're their main predator. And wild deer are amazingly wild, as you said. You can walk through the woods and they're picking you out from miles away. They don't like the human silhouette. So the camouflage is more to make you look more like a bush than it is to make you not be seen. It's just silhouette that they're looking for.
Or movement.
Movement, yes.
They don't like movement.
Human movement. Human movements. We're top of the chain. Other than a bear, and most bears actually take off running from us as well. So,
Well, when I've hunted, and you hunt all day, and afternoon you kind of get funny, and then you get a couple of does that'll come in and just sit there and just play and jump, and I've tested everything. You don't understand, pay no attention, but cough. Mm-hmm. You cough,
yeah.
like that. And certain noises that they're used to knocking in the woods and trees hitting each other and limbs falling down. But those strange noises, and I've done some funny things. Up home, they sell all kinds of deer things. You've seen them. They got urine from does and all this. And a guy told me one time, he said, just get pure, I forget what it was. Anyway, I poured it on a stump. And those deer just went over there, ammonia, that's what it was. Like just Bo Peep ammonia. Poured it on a stump. My God, they all went around that thing. They just love the smell of that. It causes us to sneeze. And
They like the smell of ammonia.
they love the smell of ammonia.
Those are Michigan deer.
Yeah, I never heard of that.
And then, of course, they sell all this stuff you spray your clothes with. I find the best stuff. I'll take 8 or 10 apples, and I got carpet in my stand, and I mash those apples. And those apples, they make me smell good. And,
Right.
it hides your scent. Of course, you're way up there like that anyway.
Yeah.
But what do you think a deer?
I do use the cover scent spray, mostly the Fresh Earth spray.
I've used that.
I'm not a fan of the scent lock and certain suits and stuff they have out there, and I keep all my clothing in a bag and keep them separate from the house.
I put mine in I got an old suitcase and I keep it in there, and I got cedar chips in there. Mm-hmm. Deer like cedar, at least they do up in Michigan.
Yeah.
We don't have much cedar here, but
Yeah.
that's their winter feed is cedar.
Up there?
Yeah.
Huh.
Oh yeah, all the trees in the cemetery are trimmed as high as they can reach.
Huh.
Yeah. You didn't know that?
I didn't know that about the UP. Around here, it's the acorns. I mean, they love the acorns and
Yeah,
the
they'll dig
persimmons and the
scratch
pawpaws
and-
and things like that.
Yeah.
But I'm a big fan of the scent block. And I have the scent blocker suit, and it's been a gold mine. It really has.
How does it keep its scent block all the time?
It's carbon, has carbon in
the
between
fabric?
in between your skin and the outer layer, and that carbon layer actually keeps that odor inside. Which I also use the covering. I take a shower every morning and use the scent covering that you can get at any department
So
store.
you're a hunter too, besides.
Oh my gosh, I'm a big bow hunter.
But I
I'll
thought,
tell you what, Bill.
how can you go hunting when you got to be out looking for us bad guys?
Well, they don't make us. Sometimes it's where you think I am, that actually saves you from violating, because you think, man, I can't do that, and because Bill Brown might be looking, when Bill Brown's actually sitting down in a tree stand. So I gotta, you be sneaky while you're working.
Yeah.
That way everybody thinks you're around every tree, and then you're out actually hunting and enjoying yourself. So I'm a big bow hunter. Yeah. Always have.
So
been.
you get time off and you go bow hunting?
Sure.
So during the gun season, when you can't do anything but do your job then? Or?
We actually get some pretty good time off during the gun season. I'm not a gun hunter at all. I do a lot of working during that time, but the bow season really get a great opportunity to get out. And sometimes I take vacation during that time of year and actually spend some time in the woods, actually pursuing my love. That is my true love.
We call them game wardens. One of the game wardens up there is a good friend of ours. He comes in, has lunch. I fix lunch for the guys. And
Yeah.
I'm the camp cook, and my brother does the dishes. And I always come in at noon, and I'll get something started in a crock pot, or I'll do something, and then I'll lay down and take a little nap. At about 3 o'clock, I head back out, because I believe that's the best hunt, I think, the evening hunt.
Oh, yeah.
I don't like that, getting up 4 o'clock in the morning and finding my way out there and climbing those old frosty ladders. And
That's the best time.
Yeah, I like it all.
you like the morning hunt, do you?
Yeah.
Do you? What time do you want to be in your stand on the 16th?
I like being there at least an hour before daylight.
Yeah, about an hour before daylight.
And he's probably like me. When you get out from the morning, you turn around and run back for the evening hunt too. So
Yeah.
he wears it out like I do.
I hunt the mornings and evenings.
Well, the first 2 days, we pretty much sit all day. We come in, maybe eat a sandwich, and then we go back out, and we stay the whole day.
I'm not able to do that. I like going out in the morning and coming back in and grabbing some lunch and then heading back out.
Yeah.
I'm not able to.
But
sit
Bill
there.
Brown's state here messes me up, because what I always used to do when the deer season started the second Saturday here, I'd hunt the second Saturday and Sunday with my boy Bob here, and then I'd head to Michigan, and the 15th we'd hunt up there. The way I think it's 2 more years before I'll be able to do that again, because when the season comes in so early, the second Saturday is so early, they move it to the third Saturday. So it comes in up there on the 15th and 16th here, so I'm going to stay here and hunt the 16th, 17th. I probably won't even get to go. Let's get to another thing. We're busy talking, John. We got till it's 8 minutes here. We might be here.
Talk hunting all day.
We might be here till 8 o'clock. What kind of quad you drive? You take your quad up there with you?
Actually, I don't own a quad of my own. Detective Pennington, Craig Pennington, lets me use his quad.
What's he got?
He has a Polaris 450, and just as I was saying earlier, you have so many other friends that hunt, and I believe I could ask any one of my friends who have a quad, they will let me use their quad, and I would do the same for them. If they need a truck
what's the rules in Indiana to get your gun from the house to the stand?
Actually, it's changed. ATV used to be, it had to be cased. When you're on your own property or on property you have permission, then it just has to be unloaded. So
You can carry a bare gun out there, huh?
Yep, absolutely.
I'll be darned.
If you have permission to be on the property that
I
you're
got a
on.
gun boot on mine, because in Michigan you have to have it unloaded in a case.
Right, and that's the way Indiana was for quite some time. There's been a recent change on that. So
Canada's that way also. Has to be unloaded and
in a case. Yeah. Or in a car, it has to be unloaded in a case.
yeah.
A case or a sleeve, the weapon sleeves that are out now.
Yeah. That's as much fun riding the quad out.
Oh, absolutely.
And
Part of the hunt.
For years and years and years, I walked 2.5 miles back to my stand, and I'd walk it, and I thought I hear something. You walk and you think you hear something. You hardly ever get there, and you want to get there. Right. Nobody knows how it is. And then a friend of mine says, you'll do just as good if you just ride your quad over there, park it, and get in your stand. And from then on, I did, and I do just as good or better.
Yeah.
And then it's real nice if you get one that you got to drag out or something. I lay it up on the rack there and take it out, and if it's a nice big one, we go get the tractor and put it in the scoop.
It's always going to be a nice big one. 30-pointer, I believe is what you
30
said,
points,
right, sir?
yeah.
That's right.
We got a buck pole, and we're always real disappointed. Several of our friends bring their deer in there because we got you know what a buck pole is. You guys don't know what a buck pole is.
Well, we're Indiana Hoosiers.
Yeah. Well, of course, it's cold up there. You know, it gets down to maybe 20 at night, and it gets up to 34, 35 in the daytime, so it stays below. So we have a buck pole, and you got the deer out in the woods, and then you hang him up, and you cut him so he drains,
Right.
and you hang him up. But you got to hang him high enough so the animals can't get it.
Sure.
So the buck pole's way up there. So we use the scoop of the tractor, get the youngest one of us, get in the tractor and go up and hook it up there and let him drain out. So we hope by about the second day you got 5 or 6 on the buck pole, because everybody's coming out to see what your buck pole, and everybody's got one. You know, and yeah, you can't do that here because it doesn't stay cold enough.
Yeah. Yeah. Let him hang. We used to do that with our cattle that we used to butcher years ago. Let him hang is a very important step.
And that's what the hunters up there say. Well, the deer meat doesn't taste good. Well, you shoot it in the woods, you drag it out, it goes through a couple of creeks, and you drag her down, then you hang him on a pole and let him hang 5 or 6 days, and then you skin him out. You know, how would it taste good?
Yeah.
It does to us, doesn't
Oh
it?
yeah, absolutely.
And we got a company up there that makes sausage for us, but I always bring my deer home here, and Rims make the best sausage. Maybe I shouldn't advertise, but boy, they make the best sausage.
Isn't it something?
Oh,
Jalapeno cheese.
yeah.
Oh wow.
I take it up to the camp, you know, the next year,
It's an awesome
and they'll
late
say,
night
boy,
snack.
that stuff is good.
Absolutely. Yeah. I actually give it as gifts every Christmas.
The funeral director up at Dublin, he always brings me a roll of that jalapeno, and I trade him, you know. And,
Yeah.
you know, I even had some Italian sausage made one year. We got 3 minutes. Well, listen, guys, this has been fun.
Yeah.
I wish we could do it again. Yeah, it's fun. Is there any last thoughts you have on the season this year to be safe? And
Remember that Indiana is for deer hunting is not a baiting season. There is no baiting. No baiting. So,
but natural food's fine.
As if you're hunting over an acorn tree that's already there, that's fine. But you cannot carry anything in that it can lick or eat.
That's why I'm underneath that oak tree.
Yeah, and make sure make sure that you take an opportunity to look at these deer regulations before you go out this year, and they're on the website. You can get their booklet and everything else. Make sure you look them over, because if you're no violations this year, that would be great. That would be outstanding for us.
A standing crop of rye, or
Oh, absolutely. You can hunt all over that
you
if
can
it's
put your
normal
own
agricultural process.
you can put your own food plot in too.
Absolutely,
if you want to.
yeah. You can put your
You
own-
just can't take corn out and pour it on the ground.
That's correct.
Yeah. In Michigan you can. How many minutes? 2. Chris, what's your final word here?
My final word was just for all the hunters to be safe out there, and take your daughters, your kids, your nephew, or somebody. Get outdoors. I love being outdoors. Take them fishing. Get the youth involved, and it's a really good time. And just go out and have fun and be safe.
Great.
I think that's been the greatest thing. Is my son and I, we hunt together. Now my oldest son doesn't like to hunt, but Bobby loves to hunt, and we hunt together. And those have been some of the most exciting times. I just got him to get it to field dress. We call it in Michigan, gut your deer, but here we got to say field dress his deer. I always got to do it for him, and I'm getting too old.
I still have to do it for my buddy.
Do you?
Yeah, he's about my age too.
Yeah.
And I told him, I said, you're gonna have to get your hands dirty for too long.
Now when I'm in Michigan, my brother does mine.
Yeah.
Yeah.
You take it, you got it. That's my rule.
Yeah. Well, I've taught a lot of those young bucks up there how to get a deer. And well, we got 1 minute left. Thanks so much for coming tonight, Chris. Always a joy to talk hunting. And Bill, you're looking good, and you're going right up the ladder. I suppose you'll be head of the Department of.
Well, sir, I need for you to put in a good word.
Oh yeah. Well, maybe I'll run for governor.
Oh.
Then I can make you the.
We'll make it a deal.
Okay. Don't wait. Don't hold your breath. Folks, it's been wonderful tonight to talk about deer hunting and other hunting, and talk about what makes this country such a great country. So until next time, when we talk about Connersville Speaks, we'll have Fran Chomo, and he'll have the basketball coach, and he'll be talking all about basketball coach at our next Connersville Speaks. And then I heard that Santa's coming down in December, so a lot of exciting things. So for tonight, good night.